If you don't like a Laika, you shouldn't probably be here tonight. All I can say. I already got shit for the picture I put because I just chat GBT'd it on my drive home in dirty traffic and threw it on there. Maybe it's because it has the sunglasses on it. Maybe that's what it is.
We could have sent you a real picture.
I should have. Man, the owners are in town for my company, so we have our meeting today. We had Christmas party tomorrow. It's just I got jobs going on. They're telling me not to work, and I'm sending guys to work. I got to go in and help guys because we're low guys right now. So, yep.
What are you in construction?
I subcontract management for companies. Right now, I'm with a shade company. They build like big canopies and stuff. So I go in and be a big asshole and get paid for it.
I don't know.
That sounds like.
Yep. Chris, you need to cross on your blue ticks. Just because my dogs are blue don't mean they're full-blooded. They're full of everything. They just happen to come out blue. All of them. I have a couple red ticks and blue ticks, and all my dogs have Walker and black and tan. And well, I don't want to say black and tan out loud, but
does that make you feel some kind of way when you say that?
Well, I know I can kick them and not care about it when I do. But tonight we're talking about Laika. So, and I don't know much about Laikas besides the fact that we give Derek so much shit about it that I had to bring on. We had Alex coming on, but his dog broke his ankle right there at the bottom of his foot. So he just got him out of the vet. So he will not make it.
That's a tough deal.
Mm-hmm.
We've got snow. We hunt in with snow. You get in cliffs, it gets rough.
That's what he said. Let me see. He said, he told me one of my dogs fell off a rock wall fighting a bear today. Dislocated her ankle. That's better. This broke, right?
Yes.
Just reset it. Ooh. Let me see if I can show it again. It hurts just looking at it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Don't look fun.
No. So we got Wayne Dixon. We got confused because Wayne said, "Where's Jerry?" And everybody's like, "Who?" And then he put like a support group. And I thought, shoot, man, I thought that was.
Yeah, and Jerry can't hear.
Yeah, and he didn't say nothing. So we're all like, what's going on? And I was like, who? I thought it was Bone Pile come in on us or something. And it was an awkward silence because when you don't know people, I mean, you know, you get on the internet or you meet him in person, it's a whole different story. You know, Chef Cody, he's just a good looking guy all the way around. So, Wayne, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself first and why you're here and where you're from? And
I live in the mountains of Southwest Virginia. I'm prior military. I've traveled the whole world. We hunt a lot out west, generally every year till I got the Laikas. That kind of put me into that. I've been a traditional hunter for 30-some years, and then I got into hunting Laikas, and it kind of wasted. I still bow hunt a little bit, but not like I used to. 3 grown kids, 5 grandkids, a lot of up and coming hunting buddies. Vice president of the American Bear Foundation Virginia chapter. So
we're gonna get into that a little bit later too. We got some good stuff on that.
Yeah,
are you a member of the American Bear Foundation, Chris?
I'm vice president of the Virginia.
Yeah, I know you are. I'm a member. I was just hacking on Chris because I don't think he is.
You know, I don't know if I could afford to be a member of every dang Yeah, you don't even know about half these groups. That's a great thing about social media is you meet some people and you start finding out the stuff other people are doing. You're like, man, that's pretty cool. So,
Yeah, you guys got some cool stuff going on too, so don't slight yourself there.
it just never feels like enough when you're running an organization, and you get busy sometimes and weeks go by and you're like, crap, and I talked to a game warden today and talking about some bear stuff and stuff here and how Arizona is different than everybody else. And, I've been busy working myself. So life will get you.
Volunteers are the worst part. It's hard to get volunteers.
That's a fact. Getting people just to help out or heck, just trying to get ideas from people is a pain in the butt.
I do all the game shows, and generally we'll have a couple of different volunteers each show, and it's usually pretty tough. You run for 2-3 days at a time. It gets rough.
Yeah. Yep. And then I told everybody I was going to name this the Derek support group for Laika. Jerry came on, didn't even put his real name, so we just thought he was a hacker coming in. We put Laika support group, but it should have said Derek's Laika support group. Want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, my name is Jerry Quinn. I'm from mid-Michigan. My wife and I have had Laikas for about 6 years now. And I've had hounds since ever I could walk. But just the last 6 years, we switched over to the Laikas, and we only squirrel hunt our dogs. And we usually go to squirrel camp and we'll spend as much as a month in the camper just hunting squirrels.
So you got good recipes.
Got what?
Good recipes.
Good recipes?
You got some good recipes if you're killing squirrels.
Yeah.
Not so much.
Not so much.
It's all I make out of bear is my tamales and tacos. Cody loves it all.
I give the squirrel away and eat chicken.
I guarantee a squirrel's better than freaking bear meat labeled 2018.
18? I don't have none of that new stuff. I haven't even gotten out of my 13 yet, Cody. That was a 3.
We do make Spanish rice out of the squirrel.
Oh yeah, you gotta hide it with all the salt.
Are they good to eat?
Yeah, they're good to eat.
We used to parboil and get off the bones and make pot pies out of them. Make a gravy and then put vegetables in it and put it in a pie pan. And those are fantastic.
There's your dogs.
Yeah, it's a 2 I've got.
They look real abused and everything.
Oh yeah, you know how us dog guys are.
Mm-hmm. So
I'll be back in 1 second.
All right. So how long you been in the Laikas, Wayne?
I hunted with Alex in December of 2022. We had a quick and successful hunt. Talked him into breeding coon, Bucha, and Sever. And that spring, he had 2 litters of pups. And so the June of 23 is when I got my dog.
I see a lot of Laikas just haven't been around. Is it kind of a new thing now? So people are starting to get into them?
What do you say, Wayne, like 20 years?
The big game end of it is, but small game, they've been around for probably 50 years. 40 years, yeah. I mean, they've been a few guys through the years that hunted bear and big game with them, but for the most part, just about everybody coon hunts and squirrel hunts. And I see why. Scotty, when we're on a bear hunt, we're not into bear. She'll treat 50 squirrels a day.
Yeah. Yeah, because maybe they started kind of back east more than they did this way, correct? Like a lot of your guys are using them, like you said, for small game first, and then all of a sudden someone said, "I'm going to run a bear with them."
I'd say that's I would imagine that. Let me get these puppies out of the way and let this dog out of the way. There we go. I'd say they treat a bear by accident, and somebody said, "I'm gonna start hunting bears." That would be it, because they are small game dogs. They're good upland bird dogs. They're bobcat dogs, raccoon. I mean, if you shoot it to them, they'll tree it. I tell everybody from buckmeat to Bigfoot.
So how long has Alex been running bears with them?
I think 5, maybe 6 years.
6 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, he imported them 6 years ago. And they were 6 months old, so my knowledge.
And they're
imported
picky.
Kuma and Bucha. They were sisters.
And you guys are real picky on your line, correct?
Oh, absolutely. There's only about, I'm not knocking anybody. There's only 3 males I know of can look at and go to within a reasonable distance of me that I can breed. You got to be picky. You know, my dogs are out of imported dogs. They're big game stock. You know, just like you breeding hounds, why would I want to breed a squirrel dog to a bear dog? You know, I want to breed the big game stock.
Yeah. And it's like, for me, it's even a little worse for my male, Chris, my Karelian. There's not a female on this continent that I would breed him to that I know of right now. I think I've got the only hunting Karelian on the continent. I'd have to go Finland or Poland or something to find one.
I
breed
seriously
him.
important straws of semen. You know.
Yeah.
Sever's got a male Julik, and he's working. I mean, Alex has got a male Julik that he's working on training.
Yeah.
And then there's a male dog up in Virginia, and then a male dog here in Bedford, Virginia, but he's only a year old, so we don't want to be yet.
Ain't Cody? What's his last name? Got a good male?
I don't know. I think Cody's both females or one of, but I think one of them's out of Alex's dogs, ain't it?
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
See, you can't line breed a Laika at all.
Yeah. No. There's one, and I've not ever seen the dog, but what's his name? Sandlin, I believe he's in Indiana. He's got one, and I don't know how he's bred, but they hunt bears, and he hunted pigs with him.
Oh,
Kylo.
you're talking about the dog that Adam had that ended up with Darren Petty.
Yeah, Darren Petty. That's right. Yeah. Adam Boo's old dog.
Yeah,
he's supposed to be good, but I've never seen him.
So when we talk about the Laikas, we're drier over on this side, obviously, but do you think they do better in the colder, moist weather than they would do in the drier? I'm not saying they can't do it in the drier weather unless Derek says they can. And they tell me can't. But you know what I mean? Do they work better just because that's kind of where they're bred from, correct? Russia, wherever, your Scandinavia, all those countries they're coming from.
Yeah, temperatures
I think they do better.
The difference between training season and wintertime, you know, my dogs will put in 10, 15 miles in September and they're beat. But during the bear season, December, it's nothing for them to put in 30 miles a day, you know, and they're ready to go tomorrow. We hunted 4 days in the early season up in West Virginia, up late September, and they put on 100 miles in 4 days. I mean, of course, they was beat and ready to go home, but this time of the year, they could probably double that, I would imagine.
They like the cold weather.
Oh, yeah.
They thrive in the cold, but I don't think they're hurt in this dry heat any worse than any hound. I mean, there ain't nothing that a blue tick can smell that a Laika can't. And they like I say, my gray dog is the front of everything I got going every time. You know, and there's running dogs behind him and a big Southwest bred dog behind him, and
makes a big difference where he was raised too, what he gets accustomed to.
That's a fact. Yeah, if you brought one from Michigan that was 3 years old and put him out here in April, that might be a bad deal. You asking for a heat stroke there, but
What about taking a dog from here and going back to cold weather?
oh, I think you'd be fine. I think you'd tear him up.
Yeah, I think it'd adapt pretty quick. You know, it's
Yeah.
just like hounds. These guys bring a lot of hounds out west. It would be the same difference, and a like would still have twice as much hair.
Yeah, you just have more opportunities. We got something going. Sounds like, boys.
I'm in a game rich environment. From my house, I walk there, turn my dogs loose, and have multiple 30, 40 times have my dogs tripped in 200 or 300 yards from my house. Have them out for the evening, you know, just walking them, and they'd be treed below the house. We're a game rich environment. That's no joke. He's got that.
Hey, Wayne,
Yes, sir.
are your dogs real aggressive on the bear when like a bayed bear? Are they real aggressive with them?
Oh yeah, they're hair pullers. Most of the time when we skin a bear that didn't want a treat, the hocks will be purple. And we shoot the bear and we skin it, the hocks will be purple, and sometimes there'll be holes in the hide. As long as they know which end to bite, you're good.
I've seen Alex's and your guys' Facebook, you know, how they're working those bears. How many do you have usually on a bear?
Just two. I just run 2 dogs.
Mm-hmm.
You get more than that, you risk injuring a dog. You know, you guys know because you run hounds. That's why you tie them back and everything else.
Yeah.
You get a fight on the ground. The more dogs you got, the more excited, more brave they get, and then bam, you get a dog hurt pretty easy. So 2 dogs tandem together. One distracts the face while the other chews on the butt. When the bear decides he wants to turn around, they just trade places. You know,
That's what I've been trying to tell these boys this whole time.
One dog absolutely can do it. One Laika can, but generally you're going to get more bays than trees. But with 2 Laikas and you put enough pressure on them, they're going to climb.
Probably my best, easiest trees has only been with 2 hounds. Like I'll catch a rig and let them down. And I think you're right about that. When you get too many dogs in there, no matter what they are, they get too excited. You know, they start getting everybody wound up.
When I walk into a bay up situation, I have to, if I want to call my dogs off, I have to do it almost immediately as soon as I get within hearing distance of them. Yeah. Because the closer I get, the harder they fight. And, you know, you take a chance on a dog getting hurt. And if you're training season or a bear you don't want to kill, I call it off just as absolutely soon as I can. That way I don't have to risk a dog getting hurt. I'm one of those rare guys that my dogs, I've only got 2 of them and there's a billion bears. So I'd rather lose a bear than a dog.
Yep.
Go to the next one.
Yep.
So do you have any bears over by you, Jerry, or any other game? I mean, if you're out running squirrels, have your dogs ever got on anything else?
The only thing I had him run was coyote once. And it was kind of funny because the coyote was looking back at him like, dude, you look just like me. Why are you chasing me? We have bear. They're about 2.5 hours north of us. And it's actually the same area that we squirrel hunt in, but we have never run across one. See the tracks and stuff, but
yeah. So
that's my next step. I want to try and get mine on some bears now. But I asked Alex about it because my male is very aggressive with game on the ground. And Alex told me to start him on coon first, see how he did with those.
Yep.
Well, I shot some coon out to him and he made 1 pounce on him and he never let go. He was very, very aggressive.
So you think if
Alex
he was
says
on
I
a
need to
bear,
find-
he'd be too aggressive?
I'm afraid he'd just dive in there like a coon. He'd think he's gonna kill it, you know.
You know,
I
I
don't
had
know
a
what he
red bone. I had a red bone like that, and I thought this same thing. I thought he's gonna get killed because he don't know when to stop. But man, he got on those bear, and they're pretty smart. You know, they figure out which end to bite pretty quick. So how hard is it to transfer, like from squirrels to bear? You think just get them on some game, and you think they'll pick it up?
Well, the big thing is get them where bears are at, and strongest scent is what the dog's going to run. Uh, my dogs will actually tree a turkey, and believe it or not, turkeys smell a lot like bears. So if you can get that dog where there's a lot of bears, I think you'll stand a good chance of few tries. He might run them and back off, run them and back off till he builds his confidence up enough to engage it. Bear's a lot different than a coon. You know, when you're dealing with an animal that's 2-3 times the size of the dog, in most cases, you know, they're not quite as brave as they are raccoons.
Might intimidate him a little bit more.
I wouldn't worry about it too much. Even my small little one, he figured out where the back end of it was really quick, and he just kind of the instinct will keep him away from that front, I think.
One thing I know about the Laikas, whatever you shoot to them, that's what they're going to hunt.
I only shoot cats and bears. That's it.
You running bobcats?
Oh yeah, we've caught 6 cats this year. A fisher. I don't count bears. I don't know how many. A bunch of bears. 2 grouse, an owl, and a buzzard.
You wouldn't go hungry.
That was a first. I walked into a tree. My dog's blowing the top out of it, and a big old buzzard sitting up there. I was like, "What?"
They think it was a bear or something? Big black spot?
I don't know. But they were blowing the top out of that. They were cutting it down.
I think I got you beat because my dogs were treed, and I went over there, and it was a big old black ball of mistletoe. But that bear had ran by that tree, and I think one of them dogs caught that big old, they were smelling it, caught that big old ball of mistletoe up there real high, big one. And they thought that was a bear. You know how one starts going, and they already smelled it, so they thought they were doing okay. But we went back down, and the bear was treated with one dog, not even 40, 50 yards away. So, yeah.
Have you got a lot of cats in your country, Wayne?
We've got quite a few, yeah. You know, a lot of the trappers have backed off, and you know, we got a lot of nuisance coons, and you can anything. I can walk from my house and basically fill every tag in my hunting license.
Mm-hmm.
So, what about your trailing?
They do all right. They do pretty good. This last bear that I shot, back where it was born, you know, they shot it back where it was, 958 yards. Figured out, I watched on the Garmin, seen them circling. They worked out that they had backtracked it, around, and then got back to me, and then took it another 1,200 yards. So they trailed that bear 2,000 yards. You know, that's pretty good. You know, in my opinion, in the country where I live and the amount of hound hunters we have.
So, are you jumping the bobcats?
Bobcats, yeah, mostly it's they're hunting, and then you know I think the farthest we've been from a bobcat when they.
Oh, lost his sound.
Get them quick.
I don't know. We lost your sound for a second.
Well, I've got 2 dogs on my lap. One of them might have stuck an ear in the.
And what about you, Jerry? As far as how you're hunting squirrels, are you just locating? Are they locating? Or are they?
Yeah, usually we do mostly road hunting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're out in front of the truck road hunting, and Most of the time, it's their eyes or their ears. Most of the time, it's their ears. When they run past that squirrel and he'll go around the tree, they can hear them toenails on the tree, and they'll stop and look and try and get him to move. And once he moves, they got him. Now my male, walk hunting, my male does really good on layups. He really likes to find them layup squirrels. But mostly we road hunt.
Stinker likes to see him while we're driving at 30 miles an hour and jump out. But when we're camped, she used to sit on the roads and watch. And then she learned if she gets on my truck and watches, and she will sit there for hours watching the forest. And sooner or later, she'll get one, and she'll go out and just tree it. She'll sit out there for an hour. It's crazy. I don't tie her up in camp. She just stays around hunting squirrels. She's a heck of a squirrel dog, but she's been on bear and lion, so she does me all right. And she's half mini border collie, so
they're really good with their eyes also. Where I live, I got 6 of them, and the squirrels get up in the trees about 100 yards away.
Mm-hmm.
And day after day after day, they are treeing them squirrels from their kennels, and they bark constantly.
You can't do nothing about it.
My wife, we're out there shooting squirrels all the time, trying to keep them away from the house. Drive us nuts.
That's crazy stuff. Crazy stuff.
I live in the middle of an older clear cut, and so we've got a pile of rabbits, and my dogs will go nuts at night. And you go out there with a light, and that's what it'll be, a rabbit sitting right up against the kennel. You can throw a collar on them and turn them out. About 5 minutes, they'll come back and eat rabbit.
I got my neighbors. I'm down in South Arizona, and there's the cat. My dad used to have a bunch of just stray cats around here. Now they're at the neighbors, but every once in a while they get brave and try to walk over to my trailer. And I got 10 hounds around my trailer, so. And they're nose to nose on their chains, so they don't make it. They don't make it into my trailer, try to sneak in.
It's like having a moat.
It is. It is. And I don't have them with me down here, man. It's just, I don't have Stinker this week. And she knows how to get into my trailer through the refrigerator vent. And man, it's kind of lonely without old Stinker in here waking me up every 2 hours, because she'll be out there at 1 a.m. with a cat tree somewhere, in the Palo Verde. So, no, I'm curious about those Laikas, even though I tell Derek that they're stupid and ugly, but that's just to get fun. But I've watched them. I've watched you guys hunt, and obviously you got some more bears back there, so you can get them under. Like you said, you're game rich where you are. If I had. I think if you had lions, just as many as you had bears, your Laikas would be running lions every time too.
I'll agree with that.
Just like squirrels, Stinker. There's a lot of squirrels where I camp, and she just likes to run squirrels all night. She'll come lay down and then she'll go hunt squirrels. Come lay down, go hunt squirrels. But I've seen her take a bear track the opposite way, and I'm like, "What are you doing, dummy?" And then my other dogs turn it around, come back running this way. I'm like, oh shit, she figured it out before they did. So it's kind of fun. So you don't have none of you guys don't run any hounds at all anymore?
Now I raise mountain fice, but I don't run other than the mountain fice for squirrel and the Laikas on bear and cat. That's all I run.
I got one red bone. And she holds down the couch.
She an older one?
No, she's only 3. That's all she does. Holds the couch down and sits in the pickup.
I think my cousin's gotten a couple hounds from me just for pets. And every time he goes hiking over in California, They go to trailing. They're not even trained, but when it's in them, it's in them. It's
Yeah.
in them. Period. That's when you know you probably have a pretty dang good line. Is when people take them as a pet and they still want to hunt with no training, no older dogs. They just want to go hunt.
Yeah. My wife bought this dog and they didn't get along. So she became my dog. And she was probably 2 years old and I caught a coon in a live trap. And I took her out there just to see what would happen. And she just blew up on it.
Hmm.
She just blew up on that coon in a cage. She did not like that thing at all. So,
Have you took her out at all for squirrels?
nah. I stay in a motel all week.
Hmm.
I'm only home on the weekends. And
Sounds like me, but I just stay in a 1960s trailer out back my parents' house. It takes me an hour and a half to get to work every day or wherever I'm going.
yeah,
But I got my dogs and mule down here, so I'm good to go.
I'm about 2.5 hours from my home.
Yep.
And it's in the city. I stay in the city all the time. So,
Yeah, that's never no fun either.
no.
So you were saying you can't line breed or inbreed these Laikas. Why not?
There's a wild gene in these dogs that comes out when you line breed
Yeah.
that you can't handle them. They're so close. They're a prehistoric dog. I mean, the breed's been around for 15,000 years. So they're so close that if you try to line breed, you can't handle them. Or they're so dumb they won't get out of their own way. You get the two options you get.
How far down the line can you go if you did want to breed back to a line, or you just don't do that?
Like in Europe, I think they say 6 or 7 generations. I mean, you've got to go way out. The Swedish Laika Club, that I think they get it down to the DNA percentage.
2%.
Yep, I started at 2%. And if it's any more than 2% related, they don't want you to breed them. When you breed Laikas too close, you can't handle them. They just go wild.
Yeah, you make a wild animal doing that.
Which is why this is why everybody's so picky and they like to import.
Well, and I'm not talking trash about the Laika community, but it's rednecks and dogs. I'm just going to say that everybody thinks they can improve a dog breed.
Yeah.
So let's throw a little red bone in that, and let's throw a little bit of blue tick in that. So getting a Laika that is a purebred Laika, the only way that you know for a fact.
Yeah.
There are some good breeders, and I'm not saying that. There are some really good breeders out there, but there's not any purebred Laikas in the United States.
Nope.
So
And
how hard is it to import?
Pass the breed standard.
Yep.
West Siberian Laikas do not come black and white.
Well, Wayne was telling me today that there's some people that you can tell almost where that Laika came from by just its look.
Yep.
So it's kind of hard to hide the line or say it's one or the other. What are your breeds of Laikas? Like, what are your main breeds of Laikas?
There's West Siberian, obviously. I think there's 9 different breeds. You've got,
there's 9 moose dog breeds, but Laikas, you got West Siberian, East Siberian, Russo-European. And then, hot take people, but a Karelian is just a big Laika. So very closely related to the Russo-European.
So where's the Karelian come from?
Finland and very western tip of Russia.
And why are they so big? Why are they so much bigger than the regular Laika?
Because your West Siberian Laika was bred to be an all-around dog. Everything from squirrels to moose. The Karelian is bred for one game species in mind.
Bear?
Yeah, brown bear.
Have you seen any small Karelians, Derek?
The smallest Karelian that I've ever seen that I could be sure was a real Karelian was still not that small of a dog. I mean, a regular sized dog is a small Karelian. I mean, well, it depends on your opinion of what that is. I think the bottom of the breed standard is like females at 44 pounds or something. I'd have to check.
I had a female Karelian and she was about 30 pounds.
Yeah.
So I don't know what she was out of,
Mm-hmm. And that's my thing with the importing the females and stuff, because I mean, like in Sweden, for example, you're not going to pass. Like, it just don't pass. So that's, you see a lot of that. Like I say, you get on UKC Laikas on Facebook, and there's a whole bunch of Laikas on there with UKC papers that say West Siberian that absolutely are 3/4 way something else. You know what I mean?
Derek keeps kind of busting our balls for being archaic, but that Laika's pretty freaking archaic as far as hunting. I mean, the way they hunt, it's pretty. I mean, it's not like hounds aren't as obviously in America. Everybody has them; they crossbreed, but you can line breed a hound. And I just feel like the Laikas are more meticulous in their breeding, but that sounds like they just stayed meticulous in their breeding. You say the East guys have a better breeding, but man, them Laikas seem like that's a secret society almost. To get a Laika from somebody in the United States, knowing where it came from, like you have to have a secret handshake.
Yeah, the difference is that the hound can be made better. I don't think the Laikas can be made drastically better. Because they already did that hard breed out originally. Because the ones that didn't perform died. If they ranged too far, they got ate by wolves. If they didn't hunt, then they didn't get fed. Up in the taiga and stuff back in the olden days. They already had that hard, the best of the best for 10,000 years. Hounds haven't had that. All the hound breeds are 150 years old or less, 200 years or less. So they haven't been improved upon to the max yet.
Come on.
So what happens? What happened? Like, has anybody like bred the Laika to something, trying to create something? Has there been any? I mean, what happens with that?
We had a guy, he bred a Laika to a cur.
Mm-hmm.
And they were some strange looking things. And the one I see never turned out at all. It just seemed like a nervous little wreck.
I got two Laikas bred with sled dogs, and you're just missing pieces. Just missing things. That's all it is.
Yeah, you're not going to improve a Laika by breeding it to something else.
No, and you have to stay as far away from your line as possible. Right? I mean, you don't want. So, I think as Alex saying, like, his specimen picking of who and where, and he don't do nothing in the States, right? All his is imported.
Yeah, he gets
imported.
Yeah.
Julix from Poland, Sever from one side of the Ural Mountains, Kuma and Buchas from the other side of the Ural Mountains.
Yep.
Solomov dog. What's the Solomov dog? Anybody know? Russian breed. Looked into a lot of Russian breeds years back. Favorite was the Solomov dog.
I don't know what that is.
No idea.
It must be obscure because I don't either. That's something that I would know.
Might be what Chris put on the picture because it don't look like a Laika.
That was a chat GBT. I was driving on the damn freeway.
That was AI for you.
Hey, I just threw it up real quick so I'd have a thumbnail and go. So, Jeremy, what do you think of all this Laika talk?
To each his own.
My favorite thing about it is I don't even carry lead straps. I don't carry lead straps. I don't fight. We have mountain rhododendron, mountain laurels, and they are to lead a dog through one dog. If you've got 3 or 4 dogs to lead them through a laurel, you're hating life.
No,
I don't even carry lead straps.
the only lead strap I carry is for killing snakes.
Yeah. I don't want to shoot the bear, say, come on, let's go to the truck or let's go find another one. And they walk away from the tree and don't look back.
Yeah, I carry tiebacks just in case it's one of those bad.
Yeah. The
But
only
I don't ever put anybody on a lead.
the only reason I carry those is if I'm gonna shoot a bear and I tie him back. But if I leave them, even then I can pull a dog. I can pull my dogs off.
Yeah.
But that's all about manners as well.
Hey, Wayne, does Alex tie his dogs back?
No.
I would only tie mine back if I was running like a mixed pack, like I do sometimes. If I had 6, 7 of them, I would tie back. Or if I was going to shoot one with a bow, I would tie back.
Right.
Other than this, a hound will watch a coon fall on its head. Them spitz dogs will get out of the way.
Well, most of the time where we're in the mountains, my dogs are on the uphill side of the tree.
Yeah.
I left with the bear barking at it face to face. If it starts down the tree, they'll run down on the rear end, send it back up. So if you shoot a bear from, say, 100 yards away, it couldn't possibly fall on the dogs because they're 15 yards up the hill.
That's something else I want to get y'all's opinion on, Wayne and Jerry. Well, I guess Jerry shoots squirrels, but so these guys out here, nobody does that. Like nobody would shoot a tree game from not that I've seen would shoot tree game from far away.
Nobody here does. I'm considered an outlaw.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like it's only spitz dog guys that'll shoot it when you see it. Everybody else will stand under it for a half a day. I mean, if you see it, it's it's big. It's big enough. But we got stock quotas here too, so that changes the game a little bit.
The only reason I go up is see if it has grass. I don't know. I like to look at it and check it out, but I don't shoot everything.
The Laikas don't tree close down the tree anyway. Usually the Laikas will stand off 10 or 15 feet in tree.
Yeah, they'll wear a path out. If it takes me 45 minutes to get to a tree, they'll wear a path out 10, 15 yards out from that tree, walking circles.
Yeah, they don't stand there with their feet on the tree anyway.
Yeah. Do yours jack at all? Like go biting sticks and ripping the ground up and stuff?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, they're ripping out of the ground. Yeah, they're trying to look and sound as big as possible.
Yeah, I got one bad for that. If he can't get to that damn bear, he'll eat the wood.
What do they sound like, and what kind of temperament do they have? How do they react with? I mean, you guys don't show up with 15 dogs, or you guys don't show up with other dogs at a tree. But if you did show up to a bear tree and there was 2 other guys that had 4 or 5 Laikas,
if you dogs are hunted together, so I have no issues with them. The dogs here at the house, they're a lot smaller. They're mountain fights. Those mountain fights could chew all over my Laikas and they wouldn't bite them because they know they're not allowed. But if I'm in the mountain, and this is fact, Alex may have a different story, and I have hounds coming up to me like to be petted, my dogs would absolutely kill it if I didn't get a hold of it.
Yeah.
Very protective of their owner, but you've got to know that it's not a dog for everybody. If you hear hounds coming my way, I tone my dogs back to me, get the collars, and I hold on to them till the dogs pass, and then I let them go, and they won't bother them. But if those dogs get within 10, 15 foot of me, it's a dog fight.
Yeah. So you're kind of like a healer, or those dogs that are a one-person dog, kind of.
Yeah, like mine would not go with Jeremiah.
Yeah. Go ahead, Derek.
Yeah, like as far as being a one-person dog, like I tried to send my 2 in with my buddy one time to sneak in a bedding area with a kid to get one, and they won't go with him. They would not. They would not hunt for him. It wasn't going to happen. Whereas, my hounds will hunt for anybody. I could drop them off somebody I don't know, and they turn them loose in the woods, and they go do their thing.
Yeah, I know. I had them for a little while.
You did, yeah. But But yeah, the Laikas won't do it, and the Corellian won't go with a stranger. You know, they're pretty particular about their person. It takes a while for them to warm up to you, and then like you said, like mine hunt with other dogs pretty good. Mine ain't mine. My male, he fights that Corellian. They can't hunt together because they're both trying to keep the other one away from me, so it don't work. But it seems like the hounds don't bother him too much. But he grew up with them half running dogs I got, so he's not. And a hound is not. It's not the same thing. It's kind of like the hound and a wolf. Like it's not the same dominance there. You know what I mean? I don't know. It doesn't seem like he cares one way or the other for the hounds. But another dog with a lot of confidence or gets running up to me all wild, it might be bad. But
I think it's a lot how you raise them too, because my hounds, I don't think they'll go with someone else. I hunted with Elizabeth. Her hounds would go with me for maybe 80, 100 yards and then turn around and go back to her. But she hunts a lot by herself.
Yeah.
Now that's why I put the bond with Laika. You've got the bond. You don't. You're just walking about. So you've got to have a bond. It's a working bond, full time, 24/7, and it's every day I spend. Well, I told you when you approached me about being on the podcast. I just needed to get home in time to spend an hour or two with the dogs because that's part of that bond. And
it's a big difference when you just pet them when you feed them, let's say, because I got 11-year-olds take care of my dogs when I'm not home, and you know how kids are. They dump food and run.
Yep.
And he's getting better at it to where he'll sit, but when they're here, I dump food, I love on them, I sit on their barrel, go to the next dog. And their temperament and their attitude and their, like, when I pull in, they blow up. They're like, Dad's home. But I think it's a lot with any dog, right? The more time you spend with them, the better off you are.
And them Spitzes, they need more than that, though. Like, I don't know. The one couldn't give about a half a hoot, but he needs less of it. But like that puppy, I got to pull that joker out for a couple hours a day. Like we got to watch a movie together or something. Joker lays on me. You know what I mean? They need a lot more affection than I think. Like my hound won't even let me pet it that much. They get their pets and go sleep. But that dude is like actively wanting to be with me.
Are they human aggressive or protective, like to humans?
Not at all. I've not experienced mine being aggressive toward people at all, ever.
I haven't either. Not a single bit.
No, mine aren't either. They love people.
And there was a question up here about if someone wanted to get into here we go. How would a man getting in the Laikas with zero contacts? I've hunted hounds and vice my whole life. Is that kind of the same situation with Derek when he shows up out west with a pointy-eared dog? Everybody's like, we're not giving him a dog. Is that the same with Laikas? Is it like the falconry where you have to have a mentor? And
no, I wouldn't say that. I would say that if a guy wants to get into hunting big game with the Spitz dog, get your checkbook and send me a Facebook message. I'll put you in contact with the right people, but it ain't going to be cheap. If you want to hunt squirrels, get on Facebook. You can buy one any day of the week. Now, how good they are, I don't know, but that'd be a question for Wayne or Jerry. They know more of those guys than I do. But
there's a lot of good small game dogs out there. They absolutely is, and some of those dogs would absolutely catch bears. But I wouldn't. It's hard for me to take that chance.
Well, I mean, to go get a dog, just to go get a Laika somewhere, you could probably go do it. But you're not going to know what you're getting unless you start talking to some people.
Exactly.
Yeah. Educate yourself first. Get on the Facebook groups. See who's hunting the big game with them. Have conversations with them. I talk to a lot of guys. A lot of guys have a lot of conversations. But I'm going to say something up front that
I didn't know. I was like, what happened?
I get a lot of stuff. A lot of people. I've had comments deleted over this. If you're the guy that wants to buy a dog and go hunting and not spend any with it, do not get a Laika at all, ever.
No.
They're very hyperactive.
Get a walker
They require
dog.
time and a lot of your attention, and it's not the dog for everybody. It's not the miracle dog that can catch bears by itself for everybody.
So it's not like a hound where you can go buy a finished hound and go catch something.
If the dog likes you, you can. If it don't like you, you just bought an expensive art ornament.
Yep.
That's
Yeah, they
my
have
luck
to like
anyway.
if they
So you're saying they're like a wife. in a
Pretty
way.
much. Probably expensive if you bought a finished one.
Mr.
Yeah.
Wayne, how many
if you
dogs
could
do
get a
run
finished
on
one. I
bears?
don't know.
How many dogs can you run on bears?
How many do you run on bears?
2. Most of the time, one dog is what catches the bear. The other goes in and backs it up and helps it put it up a tree.
What? How long are they running them? Is it a lot of pressure, short runs?
Oh, short, yeah. The longest track we've ever, longest run from the time we got the bear till the time they treat it was probably 300 yards. Usually under 100.
Wayne, do your dogs do they hunt together or do they hunt separate and then go to each other if one finds a bear?
They do both. If there's a lot of bear sign in the area, one will take one track and work it, and the other take the other track. And the first one that barks, of course, they're a closed mouth dog and don't bark till they're looking at the bear. So the first one that goes to barking, the other one will go to it and assist.
That's what I like about my dogs, I think, is my dogs don't really pack together, especially when I'm on a mule. I have to, and I'm bad about my GPS. I have it and I forget I have it. And I'll go for 15 minutes looking for my dog, like, where'd she go? And I think, oh, I guess I could check my GPS. She'll be 300, 400, 500 yards out. But all my dogs, of course, your puppies kind of run with the older ones, but most of my dogs, when I'm riding my mule, I got a good 500-yard circle around me of dogs behind me, around me. I've always enjoyed that about my dogs, that they didn't just pack up. And of course, if one makes a chirp, you find every dog in about 10 seconds because they go over there. And it's cool to watch that because you'll hear a dog chirp. Now, the puppies chirp. My older dog, Dirty, kind of look back. But when Dirty throws out anything, they know that he's usually the one that catches anyways. So when my Dirty dog, he's 11, when he throws out anything, they all go to him just to see what he smells. Kind of cool. I love watching the dog. It's really cool on the back of a mule. Derek don't have the patience for that. He likes to go, go, go. But, I think that's our biggest, conflict is Derek likes to take 2 dogs and go try to catch stuff. And me, I'll take all 10 dogs and I'll go out in the desert and I'll ride all day long, So like Jeremy said, right, to each its own. But I mean, I would love to have a couple Laikas just to jump in the truck and go out and catch them real quick, like all you guys do. Make it look so easy.
No, they're very versatile too.
Yeah.
I gave a female pup out of my last litter to a friend of mine, and his dog, he's I think a year and a half now, close to 2. That dog will hunt squirrel, coons, possums. He just took her to a coon competition and beat all the hounds. But that dog will hunt anything he puts her on.
Let me tell you.
And pull his daughter in the sled,
Yeah.
Kind of sounds like my little mud outside right now. He's mad.
Benny?
He thought he was fixing to go.
Benny is serving like 1,000 bowls of macaroni and cheese tonight. He had pots and pots of pasta he was making when he called me earlier and said, man, I'm not going to make it. So that's what Benny's doing. I think it was some outrageous 1,000 or 3,000 plate. I don't know.
So I'm going to go try to get on the knife fence, but I bet the cat's already.
What did Cody say over there? Derek, where are you at? I don't think we've ever really kind of said. I don't think Derek can hear us. Can you hear us, Derek?
1 second, he says.
Oh, yeah. So anyways,
Okay, I can hear you now. I had it turned down when we was trying to listen to the dogs.
all right. Well, tell everybody where you're at. I don't think we ever really said where you're at.
So, say where I'm at.
Yeah. Who you're with and where you're at.
Me and Cody King down here in South Texas.
Derek talks so funny that Cody brought him down there even.
I can't talk to nobody down here. Everybody speaks Spanish. Everybody.
Even Cody.
Yeah. I try to order food and I got to piece together every other word I can figure out to know how much my burger going to cost. Oh, looky here. Little buck. Yeah, a little buck.
Oh, another deer. Let me see. Hang on. I think he gone. I wasn't quick enough. So how long does it take to make a dog out of a Laika? Like what? I mean, is it a year? Is it like hounds? They might blow up at a year and a half, 2 years. Like when do you say this dog ain't going to make something?
Well, it's all depending on what you're doing with it. I don't know if there's a Laika alive that won't tree squirrel.
Yeah.
If we want tree squirrels, it's definite cold dog because every Laika I've ever seen was squirrel crazy, small game crazy. But when you're talking about bears, I didn't introduce my dogs to their first bear until they were a year old. And the reason for that is you can get a young dog hurt real quick. Bears, as you know, they're no joke. You get into laurel thickets and thick ground around here, get a dog hemmed up that don't know what's going on, don't have a lot of confidence and get it hurt. But as far as bear, I didn't consider my dogs finished. They're 2.5 years old, and I didn't consider them finished till this year. And they've probably been to 100+ bear trees. It's depending on what you're looking for, what you want. If you're wanting a pleasure dog, you can go out with your buddy and hunt all season and kill 2 or 3 bears. If that's not your idea of a finished dog, it take a lot. But if you're like me that goes out August, September, October, I start hunting September, October, and then I hunt the whole month of December. Alex would probably consider something different than I would a finished dog. He has the ability and the time to put his dogs on a bunch of bears, though.
Well, Alex does his homework when he goes to new areas too. I think Derek's problem was he showed up in this state when we started droughting out, and these bears are so scattered, it's hard to jump a bear.
Yeah.
I mean,
there just ain't very many. Like it's just tough. I mean, we've done
there's a lot. I know the numbers from Game and Fish,
but not like West Virginia a lot.
Oh no.
That's what I mean. Like it's tough to get a pup started in this big country, but we're doing okay. I think my great dog has been on 10 catches now at 2.5. Like that's okay. 10 bears, and I think he's been on 4 lions. Like he's doing all right. I'm not mad about it for neither one of us knowing what we were doing out here when we started. But again, he's as good as he's going to be, I think, and he's just missing stuff. Like that's what happens when you cross a Laika. You giving away pieces.
Well, it's like you were talking, Chris. Not all hunters are created equal, and then some of those people have dogs. I'm fortunate enough that I was a Western elk hunter with a traditional bow. I hunted white-tailed deer. I've killed every critter in the state of Virginia with a traditional bow, including a Boone and Crockett black bear. So I understand thermals. I understood where the bears live. I understood, all the factors that went into it. So when I take my dogs hunting, the smart move is to put them in the best position I can to be successful. If I just go blunder around the woods and expect to catch a bear, it's probably not going to happen often. But if I take my dogs where the bears live and put the wind in their face and give them the best chance, they're going to be successful.
Oh yeah, you know, what you didn't really mention too is knowing your country where you're at. It's hard to run down to New Mexico and just jump in an area. You know, I heard Alex when he was on. He told the story how he did his homework. He did his homework. You know, a lot of people I think load up, go down. Oh, I heard there's a lot of bears here. We're gonna go catch some. But Alex had to do a lot of homework. To where's Alex from?
He's from Russia, but he lives in North Virginia.
Yeah, he
So
lives just outside of DC.
yeah, he's not next door. He's not a 4-hour drive over to the Gilas. You know, that's a heck of a drive to take dogs to an area you don't know and to catch 5 bears in 4 days. You know, that's a lot of homework he had to do. So
Yes.
when you talk about write me a check, what's your average puppy Laika like if you can get one from somebody that's respectable?
Average is going to be anywhere from 750 to 1,500. And you get into the big game dogs, you're looking
Put
2 to
another
3,000.
Jeep. Yeah.
Yeah.
In this, yeah. And that's if you get one in this country.
And if you import, you're talking bigger money. It has to be 6 months old. You're paying all the importation fees, and then you're still paying $3,000-4,000 for a dog.
Yeah, you might be 10 grand in that bad boy.
So, you know, you guys are so selective and meticulous in your breeding and where they come from. Do you get a lot of culls out of those? You know what I mean? Like if you buy a dog, what's your chance percent-wise that you're probably going to get a good dog?
I'm going to say it's pretty high, but, you know, generally speaking, with any litter of pups,
Yeah.
you're only going to have 2 to 3, you know, as my buddy Jeff says, stem winders. You're going to have 2 or 3 dogs out of a 10 pup litter that's real dogs. So to expect a whole lot more than that's just kind of crazy, you know. But to be better than average and be able to catch game, I'm going to say probably 80% of them is going to be good dogs.
And like you said, squirrel, like if it ain't treating a squirrel, it shouldn't even be on the ground.
You don't even have to train them for squirrels.
No. I don't think there's a Spitz dog in the world that won't chase a squirrel right now. Any kid. Your grandma's Romanian will chase a squirrel. You know what I mean?
We got our first puppy, and my wife and I are like, well, how do we train this thing, you know?
You don't.
So we threw it out of the truck, and it took off running down the road and treat squirrels. And we're just like, well, I guess there ain't much to that then. And all it did, it trained itself.
To be honest, all I done with my dogs was taught them how to act, built a bond with them,
and put them in the woods.
And keep them in the woods, but then I broke them off what I didn't want them to run. So
yeah. Is it hard to trash break a Laika?
No,
not at all.
If you stop a
he got quiet.
You get into like coyotes. The hardest thing I broke my off of was coyotes because they wanted to catch them and kill them.
Yeah,
and I have time for that. I'm wanting to catch bears. I'm wanting to catch bobcats. The last thing I want to do is walk through the woods looking at dead coyotes. And so I broke them off coyotes.
So does anybody chase coyotes and stuff with them?
No,
not that I know.
Alex lets his dogs fight him, yeah.
There's just not a lot of people that do it.
No. Hogs and bears are your two main big game animals that people use Laikas for. And when it comes to pigs, there ain't nothing better. One dog bay it up, you walk in and shoot it. They're great.
Well, why are they not using them on coyotes? If they're using them on hogs, obviously they can get hurt just as bad, or coyotes fight a little different.
Well, a coyote's a wuss. My dogs, I just don't want them to waste the energy to run it down 400 yards and then catch it and kill it and scatter it all over the hillside. And then you got two dogs half full of coyote and you're trying to go hunting. And, that's why I broke mine off.
Yeah.
What do you think, Jeremy? You think Stinker's part Laika?
No.
She jumps out of the truck to get them squirrels.
At 35 mile an hour.
Yeah, yeah.
Her ears
here-
don't stick up enough, though.
The what?
Her ears don't stick up enough.
That is true. I could tape them up. So we've been on an hour, and I waited a little bit because I think once Wayne gets going on what he's about to talk about, it might be a little while.
So I told you guys earlier, I'm the vice president of Virginia chapter of the American Bear Foundation. We've been working really hard for the past close to a year. We're getting ready to unveil, and I would have to look. It's in, if you'll give me just, I'll have to look. It's in June or July, and I can let you know, but it's antler stock. We're going to be there scoring bears. American Bear Foundation will start scoring bears at antler stock in 2026. And it's our own scoring system. We developed it ourselves from the ground up. I'm not going to get into the formula for obvious reasons, but if I tell you I killed now all you guys are bear hunters, so pretend you're not. If I tell you I killed a 150-inch deer, you automatically have a picture of a deer in your head. You know that's a good deer. You know that's a good representation of white-tailed deer. But if I tell you, and you're not a bear hunter, I tell you I killed a 20-inch bear, you're like, huh, okay, whatever. Is that big? That's what you get. We've developed a scoring system off of measurements and math that's repeatable every time, that equates to the Boone and Crockett and Pope and Young scoring system, where an 18-inch bear will end up being about 125 inches. So when you go up to that guy that's not an avid bear hunter and you tell him you killed a 150-inch bear, he already equates that to a 20-inch dog. That's a pretty good bear. So a lot of reasons for doing this. One of the key ones, there's a big group of guys that's excluded from scoring systems when it comes to bear hunting, and that's you guys, hound hunters. Where do you guys shoot most of your bears? In the head. Mm-hmm. So when you head shoot a bear, Boone and Crockett and Pope and Young will not score that bear. I'm going to. We're going to score those bears, and we're going to put them in our record book. The only thing we're going to require is the bottom jaw be on, the orbital bones be there, and the skull be structurally sound. And one of the main reasons for that, Eastern North Carolina has some giants. Eastern Virginia, we killed one today here in Eastern Virginia that was 577 pounds. So the new world record is likely laying on a bookshelf somewhere in Eastern North Carolina with a bullet hole right between its eyes and has never been touched by a score.
Do you say y'all are going to score headshots?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Oh,
we are going to score headshots.
Perfect.
The fact that houndsmen are excluded specifically because 90% of houndsmen take headshots bothered me. And that's one of the first decisions we made, that we were going to score headshot bears.
What was their reason for not scoring them?
Well, with Boone and Crockett and Pope and Young, they say headshot animals. So you head shoot a deer, a moose, anything, they're not going to score it. I guess because of structure of the skull. I don't know. All I'm going to do is I'm going to grab it, give it a little twist, make sure it'll stay together while I'm scoring it. Now, don't blow one to pieces and glue it together and bring it to me. I'm not going to score it. The thing is I don't want houndsmen to feel specifically excluded from this anymore. I want them to have a record book that they can be proud of. They can say, that's my bear right there with a bullet hole in it, And I think it's important. I think it's important to bring some cultural significance back to bear hunting. We get more people involved. We get the houndsmen of this country together on the same page. I don't think we're stoppable. There's state to state, there might not be many, bear hunters. In Virginia, we kill 3,000 bears a year, plus or minus, depending on what kind of mass deer we've had. You go into Pennsylvania, they can't dog, but they have a lot of bears. You go into New Jersey, they can't dog hunt. They have a lot of bears. So when you look at scoring systems, the guys here in Virginia, West Virginia, North Carolina, Tennessee, if they shoot their bear, they get scored. And that's, I didn't feel right about that. You know, it's something that we've been working on for a while, and we're excited. We've got a new website. If you join American Bear Foundation, you can get access to our website. We're calling it Facebook for Bears. So you can interact with somebody in California, you know, any other state, set up a bear hunt through the website and participate. When you bring me your bear, I score it. It's going on that website for everybody to see. You know,
And,
I just think,
and when they bring you the bear and they pay you for it, you're going to be a member.
That's where it gets really cool. So if I have a animal scored through Pope and Young, Boone and Crockett, which I do, I pay $45. I get a nice little certificate in a couple of months, and I get an invitation to buy the book that my name's in. $300-400, whatever it is, $175. But I don't become a member of Boone and Crockett. I don't become a member of Pope and Young. When you bring me a bear skull to score, I'm going to charge you that same $45, but our current membership is $35. I am also going to sign you up as a member of the American Bear Foundation. You're going to get a subscription to Bear Magazine. You're going to get access to the website, and you know, I think it's going to be fantastic. And then every bear, if you're a guy that travels all over the country and kills 4, 5, 6 bears a year, I'll score them for $10. You know, right now till we get everything set up, you get it to me and we'll score it and get you entered. You know, if you're a member, we'll charge you a flat small fee and get it scored and get it entered.
And you're talking about any skull. If you have one sitting in your yard for 3 years,
yep, you want to bring it, we'll score it. Only things I ask, and it ain't an ask, it's going to be mandatory that we have the data where you checked it in, you know, your confirmation number where you checked that bear in. We want to make sure that's all legal. The same, we're going to have a drying period. Obviously, you've got to have a drying period of 60 days, same as everybody else. No change there. But if you've got Grandpa's skull that he killed back in 1932, and you always wanted to know what it scored, but it's got a bullet hole in the head, bring it to me. We'll score it, put it in the historical data, you know. And the really cool thing is where we're putting them all on our website, it'll keep track of it. What'll happen is if you'll contact me after you get your tooth data back, we'll add it to your skull information. And then think 10 years down the road, guys, we've got unlimited amount of data. What you can go on our website and look and see where the big head bears live in this country.
That'd be kind of neat to see what they vary all over the United States.
Yeah, then you can and see it's going to be international. We've got members in Sweden, Norway. You know, those guys want a bear skull scored, we'll get it scored. You know, and it's only going to be bear. It's not going to be anything else. No deer, no pigs, just bear. And I think it's going to be incredible.
Sounds like a good deal. And that's to kind of, I guess, make bear hunting great again kind of campaign, like give you something to look forward to.
Yeah, I mean, like me personally, I'm extremely passionate. Got a box in here with all the data kits to pull. If we kill a bear, I pull a hair sample, cut the tip of the tongue off the DNA. I do all that, and then I put it on ice, and I get it to my DWR that day or the next day. And we want every bear hunter in the country to feel like they can be that passionate about bear hunting again.
Well, and tell them about your contest.
Oh, the contest is going to be really cool. And we're not doing for now. It's not going to be archery. It's not going to be kids. It's not going to be none of that. At the end of the year, and that'll be next year because we're going to start scoring in June. But at the end of the year, when we go to our show, to Bear Banquet in Wyoming, there's going to be 3 belt buckles, first, second, and third place. And we're going to put you up on the stage. We're going to congratulate you on your harvest, and we're going to hand you a belt buckle. And for that year, you were first, second, or third for the American Bear Foundation. I just think that's just too cool.
Derek has always talked about doing some sort of contest or, challenge for the biggest bear as far as, and I don't know how you do it if you by pounds or most time here in Arizona, it's like, how big was the bear? 300 pounder, 200 pounder. There's part of your idea, Derek.
Yeah, I'd like to see. I like that. What I was talking about is I'd like to do a no kill, like a night hunt for coons, but for bears. You know what I mean? I'd like to do that because that'd be legal in a lot of states because you ain't killing them.
Well,
And
you can't hunt bears at night here in Virginia. Currently,
no. I don't
Yeah.
mean at night. I mean, but like that same kind of type deal. Where you got
like
a
the
non-hunt
sundown.
judge that's out there, and you get photo evidence of your back number and your dog's the bear in the tree. To so you can't cheat. Say, pencil whip it or whatever. But like a no kill, tree and free hunt. I don't know. I just feel like it's done so good for them. Like we could do that too, and it'd give us, some more publicity and some protection.
Oh, what about this, Wayne? You should make it national and train people like me to score them. I'm in Idaho. You talked about that with me too.
Yes, what's going to happen to start off with, we're going to go with obviously the states we have chapters in.
Mm-hmm.
California, Oregon, Virginia, Washington, where all the chapters are at. And then from there, we're going to start training people in the key bear states. Some of the western states where you guys live, there'll be one like in Idaho, Colorado, so on and so forth. And it'll eventually branch out to where there's more than 1 or 2 scores in each state. I imagine I've got puppies and a big dog. I imagine that it won't take long, a couple of years. It'll be a little more convenient to get one scored.
Yeah, once you get the word out, once you get going, like you said.
Yep. But we're going to do the first one here in Virginia, and it's going to be an in-person at a show at, like I said, Antler Stock 26. You have to be present. You bring your bear, bring your confirmation number. And I don't care if you're from West Virginia, North Carolina. You buy a ticket to the show and you come and bring us the bear, and we'll get you scored. But the tickets are sold through Star City Whitetails, the Facebook page. You get on that Facebook page, all the information about Antler Stock's on there. Jeff will be happy to sell you a ticket, and we'll be more than happy to score your skull when you get there.
And that's Wyoming, right?
No, that's in Virginia.
That's in Virginia. What was the Wyoming one?
That's where our banquet's at every year, though, because that's where Joe Condilas, the founder of the American Bear Foundation. See, it was the Western Bear Foundation.
Yeah.
And he changed the name to the American Bear Foundation so we could start chapters. And so that's where we have the main banquet. We call it the Bear Banquet every year, is out in Cody, Wyoming.
Gotcha.
How many chapters are there?
I think there's 5 right now. There's Oregon, Washington, California. Of course, we were the first, Virginia, and then there's give me a darn minute. One of the Midwest states, you wouldn't think, Missouri. Missouri's the chapter. And I think they're working on a chapter in like Louisiana. Some of the Louisiana's got their second bear season this year.
Yes, sir.
And they're killing some absolute tanks. They're killing some 400 and 500 pound bears.
They killed a 700 pounder last year, almost 8.
Yep.
Like $7.98.
They're killing some tanks. You know, that farm and that fertile ground produces some big bears.
So, if someone's interested in starting a chapter in another state, do they reach out to you?
They can reach out to me, and I'll put them into contact with Joe Condilas, and he can set them up. It's a little bit frustrating of a process to do all the state paperwork and stuff, but we're a 501c3. So each chapter is a 501c3, and that allows them to operate as a nonprofit inside their state.
Gotcha.
So me to go to North Carolina and operate, you know, now I could fall under the American Bear umbrella at that point.
Interesting stuff.
But we're super excited. We got some other big stuff coming, but you know, we're slow rolling it, not really talking publicly about it. This is just the first key element of getting
it going.
I just think the fact that I can look at somebody that deer hunts and tell them I killed a 145-inch bear, and they automatically equate that to a 145-inch buck, you know, whitetail buck. Because where I live, that's all we have, you know, turkey, bear, and deer. And, you know, that gives them an idea. That's a pretty good bear, you know.
Any swamp bear can reach 500 pounds.
Oh, yeah, and he's not wrong. We, like I say, we killed one earlier in Eastern Virginia earlier today that was 577.
Crazy. Well, that's a lot of information for one night. A lot of information.
Thanks for having me on, guys. I enjoyed it.
No, I appreciate you guys coming on. You know, I run the Arizona Working Dog Alliance, and we tend to talk about hounds a lot. And then I had to make Derek happy because he says we pick on him all the time. So we got the truth out for him. His little support group here.
Not just me, guys.
I there's not a lot of Laika people out there, I don't think. And considering how many people we had on the night and the comments, a lot of people seemed interested in it.
What I think is really cool about the Laika is you can have one dog live in an apartment in the city and take that dog to the mountain on Saturday morning and hunt. And be successful with squirrels, deer, bear, whatever's legal in your area. You know, you can teach that dog to catch pretty much anything. Like I said, all I done was break my dogs off of what I didn't want them to run.
Well, and it sounds like you could throw a tennis ball; he'll bring it back too for you.
They're pretty sharp. They're smart dogs.
Almost like a hunting pet.
Yep. And that bond, as we were talking about, so, you know, big earlier, that's really all they, you know, they're just a big old baby around the house. But when you go to the woods, it's game on.
Well, the only reason I brought Jeremy on the night, so I didn't have to endure the Laika pain by myself.
Yeah, I asked Cody how I got put on the Pomeranian podcast.
Hey, I sent a link and he got on. He's like, damn it. But no, I appreciate you guys coming on. I'm gonna cut it early tonight. I got a bad tooth and it just swole up on my face. You probably can't see it, but man, I didn't even want to come on tonight, but I had to give Derek his podcast here. That way you don't go running off the other podcast trying to talk about Laikas.
I will say this about Derek. His Laikas were not near about as boisterous as the hounds he had. They were well-mannered.
Yeah. They bark funny is all.
Yeah.
They bark funny.
Now, that's one cool thing about mine. I can tell what they're treeing by the way they're barking.
You know, I think most guys can, like, even people come around my house and I'll be like, you know, shut up, Gypsy, or shut up, Lucy. And they're like, how do you know which dog yours? Like, it's like, man, when you spend time with these dogs, you know what they're barking at, why they're barking, and who's barking. Bone Pile actually asked a smart question. Is a score recognized by any other record books?
Well, Boone and Crockett's not recognized by Pope and Young. Pope and Young's not recognized by Boone and Crockett. You've got to have it scored separately. Buckmaster isn't recognized by any of them, so no.
So this is it. This is the bear only.
Yep, we're our own
measuring
entity.
system. Mhm.
Yep.
I think that's going to work out pretty good.
You know, and we've got to, like you say, make bears great again. You know, they're such a neat critter. They really are. They're just such a smart critter. You know, and I'm a whitetail hunter, so I'm not talking trash. The average deer lives 4, 5, 6 years. You know, that if you're hunting a really smart deer and it's 4, 5, 6 years, you get out west, you hunt elk, you're looking at 12, 14-year-old, you know, elk. Well, a bear can live up to, you know, the oldest bear was 34 years old, you know, and think about what an animal can learn in 34 years, you know. I mean, it's just such a smart, cool critter.
He learned enough to stay alive for that long. You know who
Live-
you probably should get involved with that is old Clay Newcomb. He'd probably be interested in that kind of system.
You know, we haven't talked to Clay yet, but we've got a in through Bear Magazine, and we will probably after this podcast be having those conversations because tonight's the first time the rest of the world's heard about it.
On our show, right
And
here.
yours,
Well, I appreciate you guys taking the time to come on and share your knowledge. Now we can believe Derek just a little bit. We're not going to let it go that he has pointy-eared dogs, but
Would be
It's
no
nice
fun
to
if you
hear.
let it go.
it's nice to hear different stories and different dogs, and that's what I'm trying to do now is reach out to just different kinds of dogs, and you know, people tell their stories. It's just interesting stuff to know how similar that dog hunts, but how different that dog hunts, and then the whole breeding spectrum of it that's crazy. I mean, it's like I said, secret society. You know, not like a hound guy where you haven't. I've had accident breeds and had badass dogs. That's how I found a line. You know, and with you guys, like an accident breed is that literally condemns the Laika person to hell. You know, as far as you guys' lineage. So appreciate the time and making us knowledgeable instead of just calling Derek a liar. So, and we don't care about Derek because he's hunting with Cody King over there anyways. Why we're not? So,
Yeah, we're all jealous.
I know. So appreciate it, guys.
They ain't caught nothing yet, so
No, they're just driving around and they're probably just driving around in circles on Cody's driveway. So sounds good. I appreciate it. You guys ever want to jump on and tell some
Thank you.
lies about them Laikas, you just let us know.
yes, sir. We've got a few hunts coming up, so hopefully we'll have a few more lives.
Hey, send me some videos and I'll post them on here so Derek will be happy. Cody,
They're burning one's ass right now, so they finally just got under him. We got a race going on.
there you go. This is the less Cody has ever talked on this show. Usually
Well, my
it's the
dogs are
Cody
barking.
show.
I don't want to listen to y'all blabbing. I'm trying to
I
listen
know.
to my dog.
I know. Cody said send a link and we'll turn it on and you can watch us hunt. So all right, guys, I appreciate it.
Yeah,
We'll see
thank you.
you.
See you fellas.
Have a good night.
Good evening.
There you have it, guys. Like us. So you can't call me prejudiced no more, discriminatory for making fun of Derek. We gave him his little fame and his little 2 seconds of Laikas are better than anybody. If you guys want to listen to us on the podcast, you go to Apple Podcast or Spotify or anywhere else and look us up. Value Pack Dog Food. We appreciate you guys. Another thing I don't say much of, and I'm bad at, is if, like where I live, if you go to Shantytown to pick up some dog food, you can. Go to specialty-foods.com, I believe, to find a value pack near you. Cold Strike Gear, man, they're real good supporting us. Anytime we have a raffle, Dustin jumps on board. And who else we got? If you want to join the Arizona Working Dog Alliance, we're not just Arizona. We might change it to American Working Dog Alliance so we can get more than half of my people that are members are not in Arizona. So it's a good thing. I like getting these stories out, and I like getting any information out we can. And if you have any information, any guests, Anecdoteofahoundsman at outlook.com. Go ahead and send us an email and somebody's phone number, and we'll try to get them on. Until then, you guys need to keep your powder dry and stay safe out there.